Right, let's do this. Okay, so today we are going to talk about rent to rent. Now, rent to rent is a beautiful strategy as well, because it allows you to have properties and to manage properties, to control properties without the need of buying them. Like you don't need to get a mortgage, you don't need to have a good credit score. Who cares? Because you are going to rent it off a landlord. Well, not renting it, but you're going to lease it. So you have a management agreement from the landlord, and you can then rent it out for a higher cash flow strategy, such as, for example, HMO or serviced accommodation. Now, what's the difference between the two? HMO, you rent room by room, or serviced accommodation, you rent by night. Okay, so that's the main difference. Of course, there are so many other differences. Now, what else can you do with rent to rent? Now, rent to rent, you have to understand what is the problem with the landlord. So why would a landlord give you their property to you to rent it for a higher cash flow strategy? Why they're not doing it themselves? Well, simple, because probably they have a pain, they have an issue, which is probably they had bad experiences with tenants before, they destroyed the property, or simply they can't be bothered anymore. They don't want to know anything at all about tenants, so they just want a guaranteed rent for a term that you can decide. It can be 1 year, it can be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever you want to do. This guaranteed rent has to be something that is slightly below market value, okay, below market rent, because otherwise you're committing to full rent, and then you can't afford it anymore because you can't get a good profit in between. So what you need to do is to speak to the landlord, understand their pain, their problem, and try to solve the problem. Okay, so how do you solve the problem? Well, you allow them to have that rent without any hassle, any headache anymore. You are responsible of the property completely, so you manage it for them. Now remember, you're not sub-renting it or subletting it, because that is illegal. You are leasing it from the landlord, and then you're renting it for a different strategy. It could be serviced accommodation or HMO, as I said. The landlord, of course, is it might be skeptic at the beginning, because they say, well, what are you going to do with my property? You know, are you really going to take care of the property, or are you going to just destroy it and make a run? Now, you have to be a professional property investor. Okay, don't just go there and say, oh, give me your property, because they're not going to give you the property. But if you explain them, if you have a website, for example, that helps a lot, because it builds credibility. You have to explain them what you want to do with the property, how long you want to keep it for, and also what kind of advantages the landlord is going to get from giving the property to you. Now, where do you find these landlords? Where do you find the landlords? Well, simple. You find them on Open Rent. You can go on this website where only landlords can advertise on that portal. You can find them on Gumtree. You can find them on local post offices as well, when there is a board. You can find them as well on the Facebook Marketplace. Now remember, the Facebook Marketplace at the beginning was only for landlords. Now even letting agencies post there. So you have to check if it's actually a landlord, so it's a direct to landlord, or if it's a letting agencies. If it's a letting agencies, don't bother. You can do it, you can get it, but it's a lot harder because they want the cut as well. You're doing the middleman, and then they're going to be the middleman too. So it's a kind of conflict of interest. That's the reason why probably going through the letting agencies is not a good thing. Now, with that said, letting agencies, if you have just one letting agency on board, because you can still pay them their commission, but you can benefit from them because they're giving you a lot of more properties, then yes, it's a very profitable business, because you are leveraging as well their contact list, their network. So rent to rent is again a very great strategy. You don't need to put any deposit down. You can even negotiate 1 or 2 months rent free, because you are taking care of the properties. You're going to clean it every couple of days, more or less. You're really taking the property to another level. Okay, so you probably need to set it up for serviced accommodation or for an HMO, depends on the license, etc. you want to do, but that allows you to give the landlords some peace of mind, some profit per month, and on top of that, there are a lot of other tax benefits, one of them section 24, etc. So this is another video I can do later on. So I hope this has been useful. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, click the notification bell so you can receive all the notifications when I post another video, and comment below, because this is really important. The more you comment, the more we can all share the value and the content to other people as well. Right, I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you to the next video. Bye bye for now.